So
Go
we've got
ahead.
a, okay, lovely.
Let's let people in.
Let's do that. Do you got that? Do you have that, Leanne?
I don't have anything.
Are you letting people in? Because mine is not allowing it.
It's not letting, I don't see a waiting room.
Let me try. Yeah, I
Okay.
do see. It says view, but let me see. Um, I'm gonna view and waiting room, admit all. I will do that.
Great.
Now, I hope that that means that as they click in, they will come in automatically.
I don't know. You might have to keep an eye on it, but
Okay. Okay. I think
here
we
we
have
go.
people joining us. That's wonderful.
Let's make sure that everybody's muted. Hello, hello, everybody. Sorry we're a few minutes late. We are not technologically savvy tonight.
All right. So if I mute, I'm just going to end up muting myself. So can I mute
Right.
anyone else? Um,
Looks like everybody's muted, which is great.
okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. We're good to go, Leanne.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. I see some familiar names. Some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Leanne, and I am an agent with Expedia Cruises. I work out of the Sudbury office, part of Team Friesen. We've got offices right across Ontario. I know that some of you were invited here by agents that you work with, and we are really excited to see you tonight. We are here to talk about our 2026 First Responders River Cruise. Why a First Responders River Cruise? Well, 2 years ago, we decided to do a regular ocean cruise to celebrate our first responders. We didn't think it was going to be this crazy, but we're sailing in 46 days with 288 guests. It sold out in a couple of months and the response has been crazy. Now, many of those who are sailing with us said, we love the ocean cruises, but what do you have that's a little fancier? Many of us river cruise a lot. My husband, Gary, and I, we sail AMA at least once a year. And so it was a natural fit to choose AMA for river cruise. And we wanted to pick something that was a little further out because such a special cruise, such a special vacation takes a little bit more planning. So we were able to secure some pricing that is absolutely out of this world for the best ship, in my opinion, on the river. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our AMA Waterways rep. Her name is Terry. She's wonderful and she's always helping us to make our sailings extra magical. Terry, take it away.
Thank you, Leanne. That was such a lovely introduction. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to allow everyone in because they're still popping in. So let me just get that done first. But I'm very happy to be here. Thank you all for coming. And we are going to try to make this quick and painless, something so exciting coming for you. It's really, really wonderful of Leanne to put this together for you. We love working with Leanne and Gary. They're so good to Emma Waterways. I hope they feel that we're good to them too. So I think that must be what she's thinking when she put this together, because we really do enjoy. And my screen is frozen. So there we go. We do enjoy looking after this and helping her try to create this great frontline cruise for her and for all of you coming on to the AMAMagna is what we're looking at. It is our largest ship. So the Magna on the Danube is the itinerary that we're looking at. It's starting the cruise on April 26th for 1 week of 2026, and we are booking ahead. And Leanne was really smart in doing that because the river cruises really do fill up quickly. And the AMAMagna is a one-of-a-kind ship, so she fills up very quickly because of that. Our AMAMagna before I say anything else, is really a special ship because she's the only one of her size on the European rivers. So what we do is we have a number of ships that are smaller, and they fit, all the ships on all of the rivers are the same size due to the size of the locks. But once you're on the Danube, there's a certain point where the AMAMagna can fit. And so we built her, our owners have built her so that a lot of people like to transition from ocean to this. So it was really exciting to hear that Leanne and Gary put together such an amazing group, for you on the ocean. But now let's see, if you'd like to come with us. So oceans take you to countries and rivers take you through them. That came from our owner, Christine. And we are a family-owned and operated company for 22 years by two families. They are very involved every day. Ama means love in Latin, and the owners really do love what they do, and they love trying to have you love the rivers as well. They're all from Europe originally, and so they have a special connection, and they want you to experience the rivers and the villages and the cities just the way they did. And we want to exceed your expectations of what a river cruise is. So Christine said this, but the picture is so great because it shows you that our ships are much smaller than the oceans. Our typical ships are about 156 guests on average, and sorry, I'm admitting more people. It's so great. So what you can see from the picture as well is that it's very quiet. So there's no sickness involved in river cruising. If you haven't river cruised before, I'll just tell you a little bit about what it's like. So you go along the river, you can see the land on either side. You're no seasickness, as I said, but what we do is we stop at those cities and villages that were built on the rivers, in history, and we will dock actually where you can just most of the time just walk right off onto the cobblestone. So because it's also small, it's very personal. You're immersed in the culture of all these destinations that we sail through. It is a beautiful way to travel on a boutique hotel on the water, is what we like to say. So what else can I tell you about river cruising? It's just so nice to be able to go through all these towns and cities with so many options that I'll tell you about. So what makes AMA Waterways different in the river cruising industry? It really is the owners, and that leadership that really changes who we are, that work for the company, and they really care about everybody, and including us, and including Gary and Christine, and including our guests, of course. So what they do everything to make the guest happy. They're trying their best always to exceed your expectations, like I say. So from there, I'll just touch on a couple little things like the innovation. The AMAMagna, when I talk about our regular ships being 156 passengers, our friendly competitors' ships are sometimes more at 200 passengers, but the AMAMagna is double the width of all of those ships, but she's only 20% more capacity on it. So we've only put 196 passengers on a ship that is more than, it's double the width, but a little longer as well. So it means there's a luxury of space on board. But truly, she is a beautiful ship, and many ocean people, like I say, want to come over to her because we do have multiple venues, restaurants, lounges. The innovation comes from sustainability. So, for example, we have solar panels on the sun deck of this ship. We make sure that when you're leaving for your excursion, we give you Tetra Pak waters to have. In the staterooms themselves, we have glass bottles that are refillable with water. So we really, really care about our footprint, and we really do care about the communities that we sail through as well. And I will talk a little bit more about all of these things that you see below. But if you see the one on the bottom right, that is one of our owners, Christine, who is playing pickleball, because there is a full regulation size pickleball court on this sun deck of the AMAMagna. It's the only one like this. So that too comes from Christine reading everyone's surveys after itineraries and realizing that people were looking for more. People were looking for more activity. And that's when the decision was made to put that pickleball court on this ship. So from there, I will talk about the AMAMagna a little bit. There are different room categories. We have lots of space in our staterooms. I think we're going to touch on them a little further at the end when Leanne comes back to chat. But we've got most of the average room, stateroom on the AMAMagna is over 300 square feet, with the biggest suite being over 700 square feet. So quite large. We really, with the innovation, one of the things we've done is we've made twin balconies. It is something that's just ours, exclusive to AMA Waterways. And those twin balconies mean that you have that balcony that you can go out on and close the door behind you. But you also have a French balcony, so you can open those windows completely and get that air, and you don't have to worry about the air conditioning going off if you leave the big balconies doors open. So it's very nice indeed. And the other thing that we really are proud of as well, I mean, we're proud of everything, are our cruise managers. And on a river ship, your cruise manager is the person who's going to take care of you. That's their only job. We pay them specifically to be there for our guests. They will do everything they can to make you happy. I don't know when they sleep, honestly, but they're really informative. We train them extensively, and they will try to answer any of your questions, but they're also going to be there when you are every day going into the lounge. And the lounge, well, I'll start at the beginning. So at the beginning of your day, you'll have a breakfast. We'll have probably a morning excursion, or we'll be sailing for a little while on a scenic part of the route. And then we have lunch. And then again, we'll either sail a bit more, or you'll have another choice of excursions. And then when you come back from that afternoon, we always have an event in our lounge. And the cruise manager comes into that lounge, and they actually are going to be giving you the details of the next day. So you'll hear more and more about those details from them. And then from there, we have our dinner, and then we have entertainment, and then it's evening snacks. So there's lots of food. I'll talk about all of that a little bit more, but it really is all about AMA Waterways is about our unparalleled service. That fact that AMA means love is very important to us, and we want to make sure that everyone on board helps you feel that you're part of our AMA family as well. So whether it's the bartenders, whether it's that cruise manager, whether it's the servers in the dining room, we really want to make this special for you. So when we do talk about our cuisine, we're very proud of that because we are members of the two oldest gastronomy societies. We're the only ones who are members of either of them on the rivers, but we have both. And they rate us on our food, our wine, as well as our service. So that trifecta is really important to us. Whether all of our food is very fresh, we go out on the ports, we get fresh produce, we are making everything that you're eating. I always say the only thing frozen on board is the ice cubes. They even make the ice cream every day. So it's all a la carte meals. Our breakfast includes a buffet as well as a la carte. And then we have a tapas in the afternoon in the lounge. And we also in the lounge have an evening snack, excuse me. So everything's a la carte. But if you have any dietary restrictions, that is something that we really try to make sure we can accommodate very well so that your meal is just like as amazing as anyone else's meal who's ordering off of the regular menu. So you would just let your team freeze and advisor know that you have a dietary restriction, and they would let us know. So the other part of being on those dining rooms is that we have 4 dining rooms on the AMAMagna. Now, most of our ships will just have the main dining room and one specialty dining room called the chef's table. But here we have on the AMAMagna 4 restaurants. So we've got the main dining room, of course, and we have a chef's table, which is really special because we do a 5-course tasting menu in there with specialty wines and that are paired with the food, and the chef is preparing that in front of you behind a glass window. But we also have Jimmy's, and Jimmy's is special for us because that is one of the co-founders who has now passed away. So for him, he loved family gatherings, and so it's a very farm to table in this restaurant, and we sit in it's more family style. restaurant. So you have your choice of which restaurants you go into. We also have the al fresco, which is much more bistro-like. So lots of options. And with any of them, you're going to also receive unlimited wine and beer on lunch and dinner. And then that is something that will change regionally as we sail. So there's always other wines to try. If you don't like one of the new wines, you'll just ask for one of the other ones. So we really want you to enjoy what you're doing all the time and how we're doing it. Now, before dinner, when I talked about being in the lounge with the cruise manager, where he takes about 10 or 15 minutes to give you ideas about what the next day will entail, that is when we have what we call, it's our sip and sail. It's a cocktail hour, like I said, the hour before dinner. And we always have specialty cocktails, but I don't always like the specialty cocktail. I'm a whiskey sour girl, and that's what I order. So it is open to other drinks as well. That is something that is also complimentary and included. Now, I talked about the pickleball, but of course we have onboard activities more than that. So being a 5-star luxury cruise, we don't have any formal nights. That's not something you have to worry about. Men can come, for example, in a polo shirt and slacks. That's, that is about as business casual that we can kind of ask for. But outside of that, we have a number of bars and a number of lounges. We have the main lounge, but we have 2 other lounges on the AMAMagna. And then we have 5 bars. So there's one in each of the lounges, I believe. But there's also the one in the Zen bar. The Zen Wellness bar is right beside where we have 3 rooms for massages that you can book. And then we have the Sky Bar, which is on our sun deck, which is where, of course, the pickleball is. We have a hair salon, and we also have a cinema. So I believe it seats about 20 to 30. And we will play movies in there, big sports events if we can get them, if we have access to them, of course. And then what's really special is the variety of shore excursions. All of our shore excursions are included. So there's usually 1 to 2 ports a day. And in those ports, we have a variety, like I say, all included. So you will be able to choose what you want to do, whether it's a wine tasting, whether it's a city walk or a castle hike, biking by the river. So we have lots to choose from. We have local guides from each of these destinations. We keep you in small groups. Even if only 2 people are signed up for an excursion, we're still going to take you. And then because of Christine as well, with the activity levels, we are going to offer not only multiple excursions for you to choose from that are included, but we're going to do them at different activity levels. So if you have any mobility issues, we will have a gentle walkers, or if you're just tired that day, we will have a gentle walkers, which will avoid hills and stairs, for example, a bit slower paced. We'll have a regular, as well as we'll have a active, so a hike or a bike. And we'll go through that a little bit more, and your advisors can tell you more specifically about this routing and this itinerary of what happens at each of our ports. But our main focus is the river. That's all we do. We don't sell any, we don't have ocean, we don't have bus tours, escorted tours or anything. But the only other thing that we will do is we will extend your journey by 2 to 4 days with land packages that we'll put together for you. And it's a really nice way of doing things and getting a little bit more out of your airfare, and also enjoying the destinations that you're going to be near. So what's included is a centrally located hotel where your full breakfast is included every day. We are going to transfer you between the hotel and the ship before and or after. We are going to transport your luggage as well. We'll always have an excursion available, and we'll always allow you some free time. But the best thing about it is that cruise manager from your ship starts with you on a pre-land package and ends with you on a post-land package if you choose to do either of those. So what's really nice about that is that they're really a personal concierge for you. They'll help you with any of your needs, or if you have stuff you want to do on your free time and you don't know where to go, they can help you with things like that. So it's really special. But today we're going to be talking specifically about the Magna on the Danube itinerary. And this itinerary in April of 26 is starting in Vilshofen, Germany, and then going through a number of German towns, Passau, Linz, Grein, and then we are going to get into the Austria area where we're going to see Dernstein and Vienna, and then we'll continue on into Bratislava and Budapest. So we're going to go through it really quickly because we don't want to keep you all night, and there's lots to talk about. So Prague, if you so choose to take the pre-land package, we're going to add 3 nights in your pre-cruise. And Prague is an incredible city. It is very museum-like. It was not destroyed in the wars. It is very old. There's a 1,000-year-old church that we will take you to a tour in on this excursion. There's also, on one of the days, there is a astronomical clock. This, what you see here, is actually a bridge going into the city. So it's a lovely walking city, and people really, this is probably one of our guests' favorite land packages that we do have. So we're going to do 3 days, like I say, in Prague, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to try to admit this person, I didn't get them. But then what we're going to do is on one day, we're going to do a couple of excursions. And then the next day, we're actually going to take you to a Czech beer tasting for another excursion. And then the following morning is when we're going to depart Prague and go start our way into Vilshofen to start the cruise. But on your way to Vilshofen, we will stop in Regensburg. And Regensburg is it is one of the most best preserved medieval cities in Germany. It is quite a quaint little town, and we will take you on sort of a highlights tour of this city. So that's on the way to Vilshofen, and then Vilshofen is where you will board the AMAMagna. Now, I will also tell you that if you're not taking that pre-land excursion or package, that this is where you will come and board as well. So you will meet everybody, we'll meet here and get on board. And just for your knowledge, when you board the ship, it takes about 2 minutes to get registered that you're on board. It's not like those ocean cruises either that way, or it's really nice and easy. You get to the port, you leave your luggage. The AMAMagna crew is going to take your luggage on board for you. You can carry your purse, of course, or whatever else you want to, but we will do that for you. Then you can come basically anytime during the day. So most people will come anywhere between noon and 3 to 5 o'clock even. So what happens is, as you kind of stagger in, you will go to the front desk, you will give them your name, they will give you your Wi-Fi password, and then you will, because Wi-Fi is of course complimentary on our ships as well, we have very good Wi-Fi, and you can have as many devices as you want. Once you get on, you get your Wi-Fi, depending if you can get in your room yet or not. Our rooms are typically available at 3 p.m. So if you are there early, you can do one of 2 things. You can go into the lounge and you can have a drink, or we'll serve lunches and some tapas there. And your luggage will all be held in one area by our crew. And then by 3 o'clock, we'll bring your luggage to your room, and you will be escorted to your room. If you don't want to do that, we will also watch your luggage, and you can actually step right back into Vilshofen and do a little tour of the town if you want to do that. So that's very much the boarding procedure. And then once you're on board around 3 o'clock, like I said, you get into your rooms. From there, you are going to get to your room and do it, change or unpack or whatever you want to do. And then we will have a welcome reception. So the cruise manager will introduce the crew, the captain, the hotel manager. You guys will have some beautiful drinks. And then when that hour is up, that will be when dinner is served. And so then you have dinner and then the rest of the night. So that sort of gives you an example of a day. But we are going to, let me back up for a second. We're in Vilshofen, and it was a miss of me to not say that when we're in Vilshofen that evening, we will put on an exclusive Oktoberfest for you. So right beside the ship where it's docked, There will be a large tent. We're going to have people from Vilshofen in their, like you see, their costume, their German garb. And then we are going to bring in beer and fresh pretzels and an Oompa band. And you guys are going to, it's a great way to start your cruise off. If you don't want to, you can stay on the ship. But honestly, it's so nice. There's dancing and singing. Very enjoyable. So we'll be there overnight because sometimes people get in a little later, so they will still be boarding the ship at this point. And then the next day we will go into a place called Passau. And Passau is where the three rivers meet. It's famous for that. It's famous that every number of years, 20, sometimes 20 years, sometimes 100 years, sometimes 2 years, they get really high waters from these three rivers meeting, and you can see on the side of the building there's dates of how high the water got, and sometimes it's up to the second or third floor of these buildings, which astonishes me why anybody would want to be on the first or second floor at all. But it's a really cute little town, like I say. So we offer a multitude of multiple excursions here. You can do hikes, you can do a walking tour, but you can also do a bike tour down the river. So that is something in Passau. Now, from Passau, there's also that you see a castle there. You can also do that castle hike. So I was talking about the bike tours. We do a few bike tours along this itinerary. So this is just a picture of biking along the river, the Danube River. It's quite beautiful, as you can see, and you're there at a beautiful time of year in April. So the following day, we will have cruised into an area called Linz. And in Linz, we give you multiple tours, but really in different destinations. So in Linz, you can stay in Linz and do a walking tour, but you can also go to Salzburg for a full day. And Salzburg, for example, is the home of all the Sound of Music. So on the way, if you take the full day, on the way to Salzburg, you actually stop at the wedding chapel where it was filmed for the Sound of Music. It's pretty cool to do that. Most of us know the Sound of Music very well, but it's a beautiful city. You can see the Alps. You can see how lovely the gardens are. So you can do the full day in Salzburg, but you can also do a full day in Český Krumlov. This is a really quaint city. I quite enjoyed this city, Český Krumlov, very mountain around there, but it's a little bit Baroque and a little bit Renaissance all at the same time. Again, multiple excursions that you can do here. And then, like I say, so Linz is, they have a very modern art area. So you can also do, instead of doing one of the two full-time, you can do a little bit in Linz. And then there's also a bike tour in Linz. So in that's a whole day, but yet in the evening, what we do is we take you to Grind. And this is a castle that is really unique. In front of it is a long building, and it's just a long wooden building. And I asked our guide when I was there what it was, and it was made for bowling, which I didn't expect that to be the answer. I thought maybe it would be a stable, but no. But in this castle, there's a big courtyard, square courtyard in the middle, and there you walk around and go into these different rooms. And there are some really unique rooms. One that is full of thousands, maybe millions of pebbles that have been taken from the Danube River, painted, and mosaics, floor, ceiling, walls, all these pebbles. Really cool. So lots of interesting things to do. Now, the following day, we're going to go into the Wachau Valley, and there you will be able to go to the Melk Abbey, which you see on the right. It's quite beautiful. One of the ceilings is there on the upper picture, but it's a 900-year-old abbey that is still being used. You can do a tour up there. You can bike. You can do a hike as well. The other place on the left is when you can go into Dürnstein, and this is a really small town. It's a little hilly, but it has a really steep sort of mountainous area behind you, and you can do a hike up to where Richard the Lionheart was caught. He was captured and held here until his ransom was paid. Now, when I say hike, we do hikes, but runners is probably all that you need for any of our hikes. So not too bad, but Dürnstein is really cool. We have lots of apricot, everything that you can do there. You can go on tastings, or you can buy apricot liqueur or schnapps and wine and candy and jam and chocolate, lots. Now that evening, we will also have the Spitz area that we will go to, and there you can do some biking and hiking as well. But in the evening, we do an exclusive excursion to the Spitz and have a wine experience there. Now you can come if you want to, but it's for everyone involved. We're the only ones going there. Very fun and unique. So some great experiences along the way. Now that you're out of those small areas of Germany and you went through the Wachau Valley is when you're going to get to these imperial cities. So the capital of Austria, of course, in Vienna. And the nice thing when we're in Vienna is there's a bike tour that goes through the city. There's a bus/walking tour that also does it. And I will say that where you could have walked off of most of these areas ports that we've stopped at, with Vienna, you can walk off, but you'd have to catch a taxi probably, or go do the tube. So we have a tour. For example, the bus tour will drive you into the center of the city because it's just so far away. The city is so large now, but you can see so much there. And the bus takes you by the imperial palaces and all the opera house. But then you get dropped off in the middle of the city, where you will want to see all those things. And the excursion guide will let you know so much about history in Vienna. And then from there, you can go back to the ship for lunch, or we have a bus that goes back and forth every half an hour. So my husband and I chose to eat lunch in Vienna. We wanted to taste the Sasha Torta, for example, and we wanted to have a coffee house. So we did that, and then we stayed until supper and then took the bus back to the ship. Some people went back to the ship for lunch and then took the bus back in and had the afternoon experience. So this is what the shopping area looks like. I spent a lot of time there. It is really nice. And then the next day you're going to go to another imperial city, which is Bratislava. And Bratislava is it's a really unique city. I have to tell you that my daughter, she's 27, we took her this spring, and we did the walking tour ourselves. Instead of we have a walking tour, but we did our own stuff because we'd been there before. But they decided to go and do the tasting tour. And so very unhappy, she came back and told me that she tasted cow's tongue. That was not something that she knew when she ate it. So that's what disturbed her. But she did say it was really good. But anyways, Bratislava, very cool city. Again, lots of excursions that we will offer you here as well. And then the following morning, what we're going to do is we're going to have a beautiful scenic sailing into Budapest. Budapest, huge imperial city, gorgeous, so much to do. You've got the Parliament buildings there. We take you on a tour of the Buda side, where you can either do a castle hike or the tour. It's the walking tour. And the Buda side is more hilly. The Parliament buildings there is on the Pest side, but it's really fascinating. And from there, the next morning, you are going to either depart and do your own thing or go home, or you can continue on with our 2 nights post cruise. And our post cruise is really exciting because the next day we're going to take you on a unique excursion, which shows you hidden things in Budapest that you wouldn't see on the other excursions or by yourself probably. Now there's lots to do on your own in Budapest as well. So outside of that excursion, there's this huge market where you can buy as much paprika as you want. There's some really great things to see and do in Budapest. So I encourage you to think about that. This is actually the Fisherman's Bastion in the evening. It's quite interesting, quite beautiful. Lastly, I'm going to tell you really about the concierge golf program. So Leanne wanted to have this for you. It does not have to be both parties that sign up for it if you don't want to. It's a beautiful program. So if you are a golfer, this is something you may want to consider. Only one person, like I say, has to do it. The other one can go do whatever, all the things I already talked about. So it is a concierge program, which means we are dealing with an award-winning company. They're going to transfer you in a Mercedes. They're going to take care of your clubs. They're going to clean them. You're going to give your rounds of golf. They're going to follow the ship with all your golf clubs. You're going to get lunch with beverages at the golf course. You've got your golf cart. So much is included here. They give you a welcome gift. It is something to consider. This is Adamsstell in Austria. You can see how beautiful it is. It's probably our most loved, beautiful, spectacular is the word our guests use, course. As you can see, the mountains there. So you've got 4 rounds of golf that will be included in the concierge program, but 5 rounds are included if you want to do the Prague golf course and the package, land package as well. So you can choose between the 4 rounds or the 5 rounds, but this is one of the golf courses. I wanted to put a couple in here. The Quellness Resort. The Quellness is actually in Passau, which was one of the places in Germany. They say it's an extremely challenging course. And then we also have the Panati golf course that I wanted to show you. That one is in near Bratislava. Now, this is a par 6, actually. And what's really interesting here is that it is a championship golf course. And so there are special tees for the championship golfers, and they're closed otherwise. But we have a special dissertation to have our guests golf from the championship tees, which is kind of special, and you can tell people what you did there. I'm going to just let you know before I pass it on to Leanne that we also have, if you are interested in the golf, we have another golf course called AMAMagna in Budapest. So if you want to look that up, Google that. And we also in Prague, it's called the Oaks. So those are things that you can look at. Otherwise, Leanne, the floor is yours. You're muted. Unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself, Leanne? No, why not? Okay. Let me see. Why I don't know why it's not letting you unmute, hon. I don't have a way to unmute you. So I'm going to try to admit someone else. And now, can I give you, let me just try to do this myself. I'm going to find you, I promise. And she's going to tell you really important stuff here. So, and we've got, yeah. My apologies, everyone. I'm not sure why this is happening. Leanne, I've just,
There we go.
thank you.
Woo!
My apologies.
Thanks, Terry. I didn't know when I muted myself that would be permanent.
It's okay.
Okay, so let me try to recap a little bit about this cruise, first responders, why we chose to do the river cruise. Whether you love ocean cruising, whether you're all-inclusive person, this is going to be something really special. If you want or have ever wanted to visit Europe, and I mean, Europe's a big place, and you don't know where to start, river cruise. You'll get to sample several cities and not just skim through them. You get to go into them and see some of the culture and experience the food. And when you get back on board, that comes back on board with us. It's not unusual to find the chef walking with us looking for that night's dinner ingredients. So we really embrace everything that is European on these river cruises, and you will fall in love with Europe the way we did. Now, for this ship, Terry mentioned that there are only 198 people if we sell every cabin at double occupancy. That's not a lot of people on a vacation. That's my kind of vacation. I'm not always a fan of rubbing elbows and being in really jam-packed spaces. So with this cruise and specifically with Emma Waterways, it's leisurely. You're not going to feel rushed. You're not going to feel like cattle. You're not going to feel like you're tied to a schedule. It's your way, but it's fantastic. So there are fewer than 50 cabins remaining on this sailing at our specific pricing. The pricing is in Canadian dollars for our group. So if you are joining us and you are one of our American travelers, you're welcome. Deposits are $500 per person, non-refundable. Staterooms start at $5,042 per person. And I'm going to show you what some of those cabins look like. And the premium rooms, the twin balconies that Terry spoke about, those start at about $79.09 per person. Now that price includes all of your food, all of your drinks, all of your excursions, 5-star accommodations, your cruise director, who is basically your personal concierge, and anything else that you need to make this really special. You will have to get your own flights, but we're here to help with that as well. If you choose to fly in a little bit early or stay and do, I can't recall right now, Terry, if Prague is before or after. It's been a long day. But if you
It's
choose to do the
before.
Prague extension with us, that's an extra $13.50 per person. That includes your hotel stays, all of your excursions, your cruise manager, and some of your meals. Now, we call this a first responders cruise. So what is a first responder really? Well, if you served or are serving in any of the following careers or services: police, fire, EMS, military, dispatch, corrections, border patrol, frontline medical, behind the scenes medical, because we know the people that helped to run the hospitals and the clinics were the real heroes during COVID. If you associate with any one of these, we consider you a first responder, one of your frontliners. This sailing, just like all of our frontline cruiser sailings, we also invite your friends and your family to join us, because a vacation is wonderful, but it's even more wonderful when you can share it with people that you really care about. So invite your friends, invite your family. We'd love to have them, and we'll take good care of them. As Terry mentioned, your booze, that's included. Your meals, your snacks, those are included. Your excursions are included. Now, the drinks, as Terry mentioned, are included, like the alcoholic beverages are included with your meals and during the cocktail hour. We are going to upgrade the beverage package. We're going to give everybody the beverage package upgrade. It's $263 per person. And that means that you can have any drink anytime. If you're one of the first responders, we're going to cover that cost. If you're not a first responder, but your friends and family of a first responder, and you book your spot before October 1st, we're going to cover that cost. So that's saving you there already over $500. Gratuities on board, I think they're around $200 per person. If you're a first responder, we're going to cover that for you. That's our thank you. Final payment for the river cruise is not due until January 20th of 2026. Gives you plenty of time to budget, plenty of time to look at what kind of flights you want to get. And of course, we're going to help every step of the way there too. Those who are going to be flying in early, whether we're doing the extension with AMA or just flying in a day early and staying at a hotel, don't worry, we're going to make sure that we have hotels available for everybody. We'll arrange transportation as well. And Terry, if you could just maybe flip that slide. So here we have, we mentioned the pricing. I put in this little chart because I wanted you to see, for those who aren't familiar with river cruising, or even those who are, you're probably familiar with some of the pricing is on a river cruise. Much different than an ocean cruise, a little bit different than an all-inclusive as well. The experience can't really be compared. So the cabins start at $5,042 per person. The best sale price right now is about $6,100 per person. So just by booking into our group, I have the savings off a little bit there. So you have about $2,000 in savings for that. The higher you go, the bigger your savings. So you're going to save anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000 per couple by booking into our group. You're also going to get the premium beverage upgrade, and we're going to take care of the gratuities if you're a first responder as well. So we've done all those value-added things. For those of you who aren't sailing with us in November, let me tell you that all of the other extra things that we organize on board and give away and just plan for you guys, they're phenomenal. We make this super fun, but without making it structured. I mean, this is a vacation, not a conference. So we want you to enjoy it as much as we know that we will. And so I'm going to show you some of the rooms because they're just phenomenal. Let me see here. And is it going to let me? Here we go. Okay. There we go. Can you guys see? Can you see my screen, Terry?
Yes, but I see a blue flower looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just move this over.
That's
How's
perfect.
that?
Yes.
Great. So when we were talking about the stateroom costs starting just over 5,000 per person, that was the category E stateroom. In our industry, we sometimes call this the duck bum view because you're not right level with the river, but you're pretty close to the water line. So it's a smaller room. It's got just the basics. This is what the layout is. So there is plenty of room and you do get to see outside. So there's two categories that have just the windows. Personally, I'm going to suggest, highly suggest, if this is your first river cruise, skip that, go straight to a balcony. It's nice to have those doors open at night to sleep. It's nice when we're sailing if you just don't feel like mingling or peopling, or you don't even want to step outside, or maybe you're just a little under the weather because you had a few too many last night, or maybe you just want to celebrate with a bottle of champagne in your stateroom. Having a balcony that you can look out on or sit out on, it's wonderful. So these are the categories AA and AB. And then we get something, I call these the bougie balconies, a little bit bigger, and you can see there's a little bit more room to relax. Bathrooms are beautiful. I don't know why I'm always so in love with bathrooms when a cruise is amazing, but it's important to me to not feel like I'm in a little tiny outhouse or that I have to stand there and touch the shower doors while I'm brushing my teeth. So you can see the layout on the SB and the SA categories is much larger than some of the other ones. Now, then we have the grand suite. We're going to call this the Leanne suite because this is what she has. I made the mistake of booking one of these on one of my AMA cruises last year, and now I can't go back. So as you can see, it's nice. That soaker tub is amazing. And then for those of you that are planning something super special, maybe you forgot an important anniversary and you really need to make it up to him or her. Let's take a look at the owner's suite. So you can entertain in this suite. It's that big. The balconies are huge. You can have a party out there. You have a living room, an office, a sitting room, a bar, and then the bedroom, of course. So that is the wonderful owner suite. Now, most people, I'm going to tell you, the cabins that sell out the quickest are the AB and the AA. And if you could stop the screen share, I'll stop it for you right now. If you can, if you could take a look at the pricing, which we're going to send out to you again, if anybody wants to see it, we'll be happy to bring that back up. Actually, let me see if I can do that for you guys. There you go. So those categories D and E on the bottom here, I've got a little typo on the savings on the category E, but those are the window cabins. So those prices start at $5,042 per person. The ones that sell out the fastest always are the A, B, and the AA categories, and you're looking at about, let's say, $8,000 per person. Keep in mind that the gratuities are going to be covered. That's $240 per person, and the premium beverage upgrade $263 per person is going to be covered. So I don't want to keep you guys here all night because I could talk about river cruising forever. We've done 5 of them and we already have 3 more booked. It really is that great. We go to Europe every year because of how awesome the river cruises are. And we do hope that you will think that maybe this is something you want to try as well. You probably have a lot of questions. So the chat is open if anybody wants to type questions. We're just going to stay for a few minutes. But send out questions to the agent who invited you. You can respond to the email that you got with the invite for this presentation. We've also recorded it. So I'm going to send out copies of the recording for those who request it. And we're going to do this again on October 8th. So for those of you that booked before then, we've got all those extra goodies. but we do have a lot of questions that we'd love to answer. So chat away. And if not, thank you for coming tonight.
Leanne.
And hopefully we're going to see you on the river.
Leanne, we do have a
Sure.
question. It says, what about the port charges? Are they extra or included? That probably came in early. So I know you've
Yep,
already
that's
answered
okay. So,
that.
yep, the port charges are $305 per person. That's over and above the cruise fare. But everything else, the taxes, and I apologize for not mentioning that. The taxes are included in this. You have to buy your flights. That's it. Do you see any other questions there that I need to answer, Terry?
I do not see any other questions. Nope, that's the only one.
Okay, that's great. Well, everybody, thank you so much for weighing in. I see a lot of my fellow agents online tonight, too. It's great to see you guys. Let's reach out to everybody and we will see you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.